Hello and welcome to another video from oorail. This is another 15 minutes of modeling video, and today is Wednesday, November 20th. So today we're back over on that section which I showed you the other day, I think on Sunday, where I had 3D printed a wall, and basically we're going to drop the wall in here to basically mask the big huge white space that's between the baseboard and the back scene. I'm also going to put some of these trees in place. Now these are a German tree. It's basically a pine tree or evergreen tree. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically drop some of these in here to sort of fill the space between the wall and the front scene. And now, like I said, they're a German product. I think the company is Heki, maybe. So this is HK 0309 or unflocked pine mini farce. You get about 1.5 inch to 3 inch, and there's 100 pieces in there. And the cool thing is, this is like $15. It's a pretty slick deal. So we'll be using a couple of those. Definitely won't be using all 100 of them. I'm gonna be using some glue. This is just some regular PVA glue. We're also going to be doing some painting. So I've got some flat white paint. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that or not. I've got some aged concrete paint that I'm definitely going to use. And I've got some rust brown, gloss gray, and some black paint. I've got a 3D printed lineside casing or location case. And so this is going to get put into the scene as well. And I've already painted this. This is one that I printed up before. I may dry brush some black paint on it though, to give it a kind of a stained or weathered look, and we'll work that into the scene. This is one of the 3D printed products that you can get from trackside3d.co.uk. This is also a ballast bin. It's been 3D printed. It's another trackside3d.co.uk product, and we'll be painting this the aged concrete and dropping it into the scene. I've got this lineside hut that I 3D printed, and I think I'm going to paint this and put it into the scene here as well. Maybe kind of a distressed gray color to help out with kind of keeping things adhered and damp. Instead of spraying water for the glue mix, I'm using a isopropyl alcohol mix, and it's sort of in this delayed misting thing. It's basically a you pull the trigger and it sort of mists the spray for about 2 seconds. I think it's used for hairdressing, and it's useful for getting the spray out or getting it evenly distributed. I'm using some rail pieces that we cut off from the track project we've been doing over the last couple of days. So I'll probably weather those and get them into the scene. Likewise, I've got some sleepers that I'll probably work into the scene as well. I've got some toothpicks for mixing up the paint. And then Woodland Scenics products. I've got some forest underbrush. This is like a darker color. I'm going to use that to sort of blend the base of these trees into place. There's an existing tree here that's basically a twig that we got from the garden. And then it's just some standard flock that we have that's been kind of dipped, I think, in Woodland Scenics green blend, and so it's just been attached and glued to that. So that's already there. So what I'm going to do to kind of simulate leaves that were underneath it, I'm going to use this earth blended turf from Woodland Scenics. I also have the conifer sort of coarse turf as well. I'm going to use maybe some of that to darken some of these trees since they're not flocked. Got some medium green underbrush, and I also have some fine turf weeds, which are going to go and use that to sort of build up the kind of spacing that's in there. I also have the trusty drill bit, and I'm going to use this to drill into the baseboard in the scene, because if you look at the trees, they actually have this sort of base that can be stuck into something. So by drilling the hole, I'm going to be able to and then drop some glue into it. I'm going to be able to give the trees kind of a base to work on, and so on. Oh, I also have some Hornby Scaledale bicycles. I've had these for years, so I'm going to use this and put maybe one up against a tree or something like that to add to the scene. And finally, I've got some poster putty. Basically, it's white blue tack, and so I'm going to use that to attach the 3D printed wall to the actual wall here. You could glue it in place, but I found that the blue tack allows me to remove it later if I need to, or adjust it or whatever. Alright, so let me get some stuff together and we'll get started.
Starting now.
Okay, so I've started the timer. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the poster putty out here. And I'm actually standing kind of behind the camera more than I normally do, just because of where this is on the layout. So I will try to do as much as possible in front of the camera. So I've pulled off a row of this, and then you don't need a lot of it. You just basically break it off into small pieces, and then what we're going to do is flick the 3D printed wall around. Now this has been spray glued with the scale scenes texture paper on it. So you want this to be relatively flat, or else it's going to sort of stick out, and that would be bad, because you don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to do a couple of pieces, try to flatten it out as much as possible. And you don't want to scratch the texture paper against the rails here, so you're just going to be a little careful. And then I usually just do the corners. It's usually good enough, and you just press it in when you're done against the wall. Okay, so we're going to flick it around and then just slide it into place where we want it. Make sure it lines up against the end of the back seam here, and then just push where we applied the blue tack. So there in the corner, on the bottom here, and then over behind the tree, like so. And you just use your thumb to push up against it. And then I've got this 3D printed low relief house here that I'm just pushing up against it to make sure it is correct. All right, so next up, I'm going to move that house out of the way because I'm going to spray some stuff here in a bit. So the next thing I want to do is we're going to go and put this, I think, the trees in. We'll start at the back and work our way forwards. So a couple of trees. I think I'm going to put one right here. I think that'll work pretty well. So I'm going to take the screwdriver here and just kind of screw into the baseboard. Like so. Hopefully should be enough for the, I may have to use a bigger, yeah, it's gonna be, should be good enough. Maybe might need to use a bigger drill bit, or at least drill beside it. Maybe might work. Now, if you don't have a bigger drill bit, what you can do is sort of just drill down on the sides here. So at an angle, and it will create a slightly bigger hole for you. And then once I figure out where it is, just want to make sure it's not going to basically fall over if you once you start gluing it. So what I'll do next is take the drill bit, so I know where it is, and then we're just going to take a bit of glue, tapping on the end here of the tree, like so, and then we'll basically just swap. So okay, So we got the first tree in, so we'll let that sit there, and then what we'll do is we get the next tree, and we'll figure out, I think, probably somewhere around here will work. You kind of want to stick it out a little bit from the wall, because it would stick out from the wall anyway, because it's three-dimensional. Like so. So I think somewhere around there should work. I think this would work a little bit better if I had a slightly larger drill bit, but I don't have to stop the video, and so we'll just work with what we have. Okay, make sure that the tree is going to go into that one as well. Now this one has a slightly larger here. You know what? I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna use the bottle opener here on the. No, that's not gonna work. You know, it will work though. There's the screwdriver part. So one side. Ouch! Alright. I think that will work. Yeah, that's gonna work for sure. Okay, that's a much better idea. Okay, so what I'm gonna do next is just do the same thing. So we're gonna put a little bit of glue on the bottom here of the tree, like so. Put it into the hole. Like so. And then I'm just going to make sure it's in the hole. Yeah. Like so. You can see there it's standing pretty well. Alright. So, next one. I think we want to put it in here amongst the trees itself. In fact, I kind of want it almost like it's in behind the bushes here. And I don't think I'm going to have to drill a hole for that. I think it's just going to sit in there. So what we're going to do is take the glue and apply it a little bit more liberally, like so. And then sort of just drop it into that spot. And it should hopefully sit in there. So I want to make sure it's straight. You don't want it to start to lean or anything like that. Like so. And I have one more tree. It's a little bit smaller, and I think I'm going to put it, I'm not sure where I'm going to put it actually. I'm going to put it right here. It'll fit right well in there. It looks like it's sort of maybe building a kind of a small kind of barricade or something. So so I guess the big thing for people in the UK this weekend is going to be Worley. Oh, I did see this pretty cool YouTube video. A guy's name, a YouTube channel, I think is Wrinkly Times. So I'm going to put a link to his channel and the video I was watching in the description. But basically, he was showing you how to plaster cast some stone walls, and he didn't have a lot of views. I don't think he has very many subscribers, but it's a really cool channel. He takes his time, and it's an old guy, but he seems to know what he's doing, so I think it's worth checking out. So I will put a link to his channel in there and to the video, and you guys should check it out. But yeah, so the big thing this weekend, I think with everybody's, there was that, what, class 37 release from Accurascale, or announcement from Accurascale. So that's looking pretty nice. I might have to pre-order one of those. Now, they did say that wasn't their Worley announcement, so I'm expecting we'll see some even bigger announcements from Worley. So if you're not going to Worley, I will have some interesting videos coming up on the channel this weekend. So you guys can check those out if you're looking for something to do that's not Worley related. Just remember, there may be some announcements, or even some releases that aren't happening at Worley this weekend. You guys will have to wait and see. I might have something in the pipeline, so stay tuned for that. And in terms of review videos, I was supposed to upload a whole bunch, and I ran into some problems with a Heljan Class 35. So my review video ended up being more of a repair video. So you'll see that in a few days. But in the meantime, I will upload some additional review videos, hopefully today, if I get a chance to edit them together and so on. All right, so I've got this all glued in, so we're going to let that glue set. I'm not sure if I will get to enhancing those today, but I'm going to move on to the next project, which is basically this trackside relay box. And so we're going to put it in here, a little bit recessed from the track. Mainly I can weather it and so on, but I just want to make sure it's going to, it'll sit back in there and it, won't hit any trains or anything like that. But first I want to kind of use the black paint to almost dry brush it. So to achieve that, I'm going to go take this black paint, a cocktail stick here. We're going to just mix it up, and then I have just a sheet of standard white paper, and we're going to try to get as much of the paint off as we can. I think this is mixed up enough, so basically just brush it like that, and then on the wipe as much paint as you can off, and then you sort of just brush down through the item like this. So I may have taken too much paint off of that, so and what you're basically trying to do is just kind of create get kind of a wash or sort of dirt kind of, weathered kind of look on it without having to use weathering powders, like so. And we'll do the same again. Just brush it off a little bit. These are black enamel paints. I'm going this direction, so up downwards, just because that's kind of more or less how any kind of dirt would have come down on the relay box. So it's just a light wash. I think that's going to be good enough. I'm just going to set that aside and get some glue and put the glue where we want to basically put the relay box, like so. And then we will take the relay box very carefully and just push down on it like that. Just want to make sure that it's reasonably level, like so. So when this dries, what we'll do is we'll spray down some IPA and glue mix, and basically sprinkle some additional kind of underbrush under it, But for now, I think that will work. It's looking pretty good. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is paint this lineside hut. So I think this lineside hut, I'm going to just drop in here under the tree. So we're going to go and paint it in a few different colors. I'm going to start off with using this gray. The reason I'm using the gray rather than a kind of a brown is to kind of give it an aged look. Alexa, cancel timer. Alright, so it looks like I'm out of time with my 15 minutes. So tomorrow what I'll do is I will continue this project. And I think maybe in the meantime, I might go ahead and paint this. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so there you have it. It's the scene so far. So tomorrow what I'll do is these will have hopefully dried. So we'll sprinkle some stuff over it to make it a little bit darker. Maybe add some of the conifer coarse turf, and we'll do some stuff underneath the tree here, put the hut in, paint the hut, maybe put the bicycle in, and see what else we want to add to the scene. I think maybe might be able to get another tree in behind here. I might try that while I'm waiting for stuff to do tomorrow. Alright, well that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are doing 15 minutes of modeling, please feel free to put it in the comments below and I'll take a look at it. If you're not doing 15 minutes or you want to do 20 or 30 or whatever, it doesn't matter how long you're doing it, just stick it in the comments and we'll give you guys a bit of a shout out. So like I said, that guy's channel I think is Wrinkly Times or something like that, so I'll put the link in the bottom of the description and you guys can go check out his channel. It's a very cool video. Alright, that's it for today, and until next time.